Kamusta na kayo?
Hola, everyone.
What's good, everybody? My name is Nico Blitz.
And I'm Jackie Ramirez.
And this is the Mexipino podcast. We are back for episode 29.
Yes, we are.
And a special surprise, I'm actually back in LA for a bit.
Yes, and super happy that Nico's back for the time being.
Yeah. So if you guys are listening to this podcast right now, Jackie and I are actually about to go on a trip to Seattle, Vancouver in a couple days. So,
yes.
I had to handle some business over here in LA before we head over there. But we actually attended a wedding. Our friend James Andre Jefferson Jr. and the newly Brittany, I was going to say Brittany Jr.
Brittany Jefferson. It was a really great wedding. It was our first wedding that we've been to together.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was a very fun wedding.
Yes.
James had soul food the entire night, chicken, mac and cheese.
Collard greens, which were amazing. Oh my God.
The collard greens were smacking, right?
Yeah, they were. Esme actually went for seconds and thirds, I think, for the collard greens.
Yeah, I honestly, because I've had collard greens before, maybe from I don't know.
I've had them from Callan Ray's and from other barbecue places, but these were a good type of spicy.
Oh, super good. And the salt level was right where I wanted it to be. Filipinos salty ass food. Shout out to gout. That's why we all have gout.
Oh
and
my
shit.
gosh. G-Unit.
Some salty ass G-Unit. Shouts out to the G-Unit on Twitch, man. If you got that joke, you got that joke. But I will say this though. It was a black wedding, so I was the only person there wearing a barong, and I was super happy about that.
Yeah, but actually someone recognized your barong.
Yeah.
There was somebody who is half black, half Filipino there.
Yeah, guys, so I end up going to the bar. It was free drinks all night, and this dude comes up to me. He's like, yo, that's a barong, right? And I was wearing, this little purple thing that my dad let me borrow and whatnot.
Which looked really nice.
Yeah. I'll admit I was looking kind of fly. And then I was like, how'd you know, bro? He was like, oh, I'm half Filipino. I was like, there we fucking go. That's what I like to hear.
I will say, I like when Nico dresses up because I normally don't see that on Nico. But I really like the way, the barong looks on you. And, I know you obviously don't like suits and stuff like that. So I feel like it's still, it's dressy, casual, but still, you can, it's nice. It's a nice fit.
Yeah, but I save it for occasions like that because I actually have a friend, shout out to Alvin Villarente, but this guy would literally dress up every day with a button up and a tie and some dress pants and some dress shoes. So it was to the point where when we would go to when we would go to wedding type events, right? Grand events. We'd be like, oh, Alvin's just in his regular ass clothes. It's nothing special about it. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I think we're going to look into getting more barongs for you for different occasions.
A lot of people hit me up about the red barong that I was wearing at the Pistahan Festival. And people were hitting me up about this one. I'm like, look, both of these are imported from the Philippines. You can't get this anywhere else. But I did actually just do a very quick Google search, and if you just type up barong, there's a barong website where you can actually just purchase a lot of barongs. And I found this black one. We're not sponsored, by the way, but I found this black one with some gold trim on it, and I think I want to get that.
I think you should too.
Yeah, it's less than $100.
I think maybe you should get a ivory colored one too.
Yeah, I'd probably get the ivory white-ish type of one. Just
ivory one, a black one, maybe I don't know, another color.
Yeah, I don't know. I did like that purple though. Maybe a baby
But you
blue.
have to buy a red one because the red one you borrowed was Jason's.
Yeah. So guys, my brother-in-law Jason, he's a lot bigger than me. So what happened was, I guess my sister had went to the Philippines and ended up getting Jason this red barong that I ended up wearing to the Pistahan Fest. Jason, I got hit up for this Pistahan Fest and they were like, yo, make sure you wear a barong. I'm like, fuck, I don't have one. So Jason's like, hey, bro, I actually have a barong downstairs. And so he was like, yo, it was a super tight fit for me. I think only you can rock it. I was like, cool. So when I put it on, barongs, they're very stiff, despite how free they feel and how open they feel, but they're very stiff to put on. And so as soon as like I just put my arms up trying to put it on, I'm like, oh, there's no freaking way Jason would have fit this. Like if he put his arms down, the whole thing would, it would have ripped.
But I did like it. It was a really nice color on you. And yeah, I think it's a really nice color. Yeah,
you know, and shouts out to the Filipino homie who recognized it at the wedding.
Yeah.
Half Filipino homie, which brings us to our next topic actually. So, a TikTok that I recently did just went viral. Actually went viral on Instagram Reels. But it was a list of artists you didn't know who are Filipino. Mm-hmm. And the list went from Lloyd to Guap to Adrian Marcel to Sweetie and then to her. And, you know, I kind of knew, like, if I put Lloyd in the beginning, everyone was going to, like, say something about it.
Like,
but
at least question it.
At least question it, but people were, like, going crazy about it. Like, yo, like, Lloyd isn't Filipino. And I'm like...
You're like, what? Do you think I would just put up a video without fact-checking myself?
Yeah, like, do you think I would just lie about this shit? Like, don't get me wrong. I questioned it, too. I very much questioned it, too. But the reason why I know is because at that Pistahan festival, my constituent Roslyn, she had told me like, hey, you know how we were just in Vegas hanging out with Lloyd and whatnot? He's actually part Filipino. It's his grandmother who is Filipino, or rather who was Filipino. And so luckily, like in that comment section, Lloyd just blessed us with a comment and said, my grams would be so honored right now.
Oh, that's awesome. And, like, I honestly was looking at the comments, too, and a lot of people were just saying, too, like Lloyd isn't, like, you know, Filipino, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, like, and even when people did see his comment, they were like, well, it doesn't count. I'm just like, dog.
Oh, people said that?
Yeah. And I was just like, dog, what do you mean it doesn't count? Like, he literally is a direct descendant of someone from the Philippines.
From the Philippines, yeah. So what do you mean it doesn't freaking count? It counts.
Yeah.
It counts. And, you know, like, he's not over here waving the flag or anything, which, you know, I totally respect because, like, maybe he didn't grow up with predominantly with his Filipino side, and that's completely okay. But the issue that I had was that a lot of people, well, there was maybe a couple comments in here saying, like, well, why does it matter if he's Filipino or not? Like, music is music. And then somebody else had said something along the lines of, like, this is kind of like making a list of artists you didn't realize who were African just to continue, like, putting every single black rapper that you knew. And I'm just like, but that's not the point. The point is that Filipinos who are, at least from my perspective and a lot of Filipinos' perspective, is that we're not represented in media. We're not represented in music. We're not represented in just culture in general. Put Manny Pacquiao aside, put Jokoy aside. Like, we don't have too many people who represent us. And the more we know about other people who are Filipino, the more we feel represented.
Absolutely.
And why is that so important? It's so that it can inspire the next person to want to do something like that.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. And like you said, if it's for Filipino representation, but for me too, like it's Mexican representation.
Yeah.
And like, I wanted to bring this up, which was like this just flowed so naturally, but like I wanted to bring this up that the new Laker, Juan Toscano-Anderson.
Former Warrior.
Yes, you had to get that in there. But I don't know if you know this because you were up in the Bay for a bit, but I've seen it all over social media. They just painted a mural of him on a Pan Dulce bakery.
Oh, that's so lit.
And he's wearing the Lakers jersey. It says Los Lakers. He has the Mexican flag draped on his shoulders. And it's amazing to see that, like, because he's the first Mexican American basketball player on the Lakers.
Oh, so on the Lakers or like ever? Never. Definitely not ever. Not ever.
No, but he's the first Mexican American pro basketball player on the Lakers.
That's so
and it's so cool because he may not be from here, from LA, but the Latino community is so heavy in LA that we will ride with you.
Oh yeah.
Like we've already painted a mural of you,
Yeah.
And the mural is amazing. It's really, really amazing. And I think it's in Inglewood, if I'm not
Can
mistaken.
I see it? Do you have a photo of it? I definitely want to see this.
This is it.
Oh, wow. This is lit. You know, sometimes when you pass by LA, you see like those weird ass murals, but this one's actually pretty freaking good.
I think I took like another screenshot of it. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, I didn't. But yeah, if you go to this, it's called Pan Dulce number 2. It's a bakery in Inglewood. We're not sponsored, by the way, but you can see the Juan Toscano-Anderson Jr. mural there, and it's so nice. I really want to go see it because it makes me proud. Like you said, it's representation. Yes, he's not fully Mexican, but he does represent. I mean, he played for the Mexican national basketball team, you know?
Yeah.
He went after he won the championship with the Lakers to Mexico to meet the president of Mexico and shook hands with him, took pictures with him, and it's really cool, you know?
That's super cool. Yeah, shouts out to Juan. I mean, you know.
And I believe his girlfriend's Mexican.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, you know, shouts out to Juan. I'm still bitter that you left the Warriors, or rather, we couldn't afford to keep you on the team. But you know that honestly, that was probably the best move. Let's say for the Lakers and for Juan, because I mean, you know, let's just face it. Like LA there's a chock full of Mexicans in LA, and for the city to get somebody like that on such a historic team in the NBA, especially for the first time, like I can only imagine how many more like you know, Mexican fans would want to go to Lakers games or would want to even try harder to, you know, go to Lakers games and rep. Maybe the Lakers more and maybe even rep Juan Toscano more.
I mean, I've already contemplated like getting a jersey. I mean, but if Juan, you want to send me a jersey, that's totally fine too. Yeah,
shouts out to Juan. I do also want to shout out one other guy that ended up following me on Instagram because of all the Lloyd stuff that I was posting. And did you know, babe?
Yes.
That a Filipino guy, he was former Marvel Studios Studios, Jesus Christ. Former Marvel Studios. Blah, 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 blah.
Are you okay, babe?
I can't even read.
Former Marvel Studios.
Let me just say this. This guy, Anthony Francisco, he's a Filipino.
Okay.
And he was the artist designer for Baby Groot, Loki, Dora, and for other characters for the MCU.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What
Filipino
the heck?
did all that. If y'all like Baby Groot, y'all like you some Filipino. You feel me?
I'm sick. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Isn't that crazy how like there's just like so many creatives in like both our communities that like
I would have never known. I would have never known.
I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have even guessed it. I would have thought it was a white man.
Yeah, same. I mean, but again, this is why representation is important, because can you imagine there's like some Filipino kid, let's say some Mexican kid who's just like on an iPad and who just loves to draw. Let's say they have this iPad and all they do is like digital drawing and whatnot, but they never knew that could be a thing for them in the future.
You know, that brings up a really good like you said, there's a kid with an iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
Our friend, Jeremy Passion.
Yeah.
He actually, I don't know if you noticed on his Instagram, but his son has like a little iPad. But instead, he told his son that it was a game and it's instead like a beat making like thing.
Oh, yeah.
And his son, I think is either 5 years old or younger. He might be even younger, I think. And his kid is making beats on the iPad. And like, I see it, I'm like, yo, this shit kind of hard.
That's
like,
crazy.
His son makes really good beats on an iPad. Like, and he's a young kid. And it's because his dad is like obviously in the music industry. Yeah. He has such a passion for music that, you know, I'm not sure if like he wanted his son to go into music, but he wanted to expose it to him at least. And by the looks of it, you know?
Yeah.
And now his son's making beats. And I reply to the stories. I'm like, yo, like this is really good. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine being like Jeremy Passion's son, or like, let's say AJ Raphael and Alyssa's son or daughter, whatever they end up having like in the future and whatnot. And just to be like, yo, like, you know, my dad or my parents are so cool. Like, all they wanted to do was do music. And I have the option to do music too.
Yeah. I mean,
that's kind of like it kind of reminds me of my friend Kiana Valenciano situation. It's just like, originally I think she said this over the weekend, but originally she didn't even want to get into music.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, her dad's like a big idol in the Philippines. People idolize her dad. And so I think she wanted to step away from that for a bit because, you know, I think in some ways it's like you want to step away from the shadow that your parents have casted under you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think at the same time it's like Kiana's such a great singer. I'm so happy that she decided to pursue music. And, you know, we probably need her on this podcast so she could talk way more about the representation. But, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's just important to have people like that we can look up to and that we can be like, they're doing this, I could do it. They're doing this, I could do that, so on and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. That's what this all is all about. Representation.
Yeah, representation. Just like how Jokoy just represented for the Philippines with his brand new movie, Easter Sunday.
We just finished watching it literally like a couple hours ago.
Yeah, still fresh in our minds. And, you know, I will say, it was a cool movie.
It was
cool.
It was a cool movie. It was funny, relatable. Even being a Mexican, being a Latina, like I was still able to relate to some things. You know, the family drama, like not knowing why they're fighting, but we just know that they're fighting, and that's then we're gonna hope for the best, someone to fix it. You know?
So crazy because this movie, I just felt like it related to me on so many different levels. Like, you know, in the movie, Jokoy, we might do a little bit of spoilers here, ladies and gentlemen, just FYI. But in the movie, you know, Jokoy is in LA and then he has to go back home to Daly City, which I'm just like, oh my goodness. And
literally, Nico.
And then the option is, oh, do we fly or do we drive? Oh, you know, we'll drive. And I'm like, okay, it's going to take maybe like 5.5 hours. And then he literally says in the movie to his son, that's like, yeah, it's going to take like 5 hours, but maybe 4.5. And I'm like, oh yeah.
That's what Nico says when he drives. He's all like, he's like, it's a 6 hour drive, but I'll make it in 5. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say you're gonna speed.
It'll be a 5 hour drive right now. We'll do it in 4.5, man. I ain't even tripping. But it was just so funny. And you know, they showed flashes of the Cow Palace, which is literally like so close to where I live.
Literally.
They showed the Welcome to Daly City Peninsula. They actually used St. Francis, which was like one of the churches that I used to go to when I was a kid. And I promise you, it is a like super Filipino church. There's like nothing but Filipinos who go there.
In St. Francis.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Shout out to St. Francis. But, you know, the relatability on like every single thing was hitting, I think.
Like as far as career, family, like just, you know, being able to enjoy the moments and understanding your parents too, I think, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, I think I have this thing where my grandma will quote unquote butt dial me, but she'll quote unquote butt dial me all the time. And so every time I answer, she's like, oh, no, nothing, Nico. I just accidentally called. I'm like, okay, Lola, you know, no worries, da-da-da. But then it got me thinking. I was like, how much of this is butt dialing versus how much of this is she actually calling and just wanting to talk, you know?
Yeah, wanting to talk or just maybe wanting to hear your voice for a quick second, you know?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of that. And, you know, it reminded me of how, like, in the movie, Jokoy's mom would be calling, like, so much. I remember when I first moved out here, like, I would get calls from my mom so much to the point where I'm just like, I'm good. I get it. I'm fine. Like Filipino moms, like they call so freaking much about the exact same topic to where you just get so brain dead about it. And all you got to say is, yes, I'm listening. Yes, I'll be there. Okay, I get it.
You say okay like 7 times before you can hang up. And then like they repeat the same thing that they started the phone call with. You're like, yes, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like this past weekend when I was back home, you know, my mom had texted me. It's not even a good morning text. The first text is, bring up your laundry. All right. So I go upstairs first because I just want to say what's up to everybody. You know, I hear the kids are upstairs. That means Sabrina and Jason are there. So I say hi to everybody and I sit down for a bit. And the first thing my mom says is, bring up your laundry. I'm like, well, can I just relax for, like, I want to say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
A couple minutes more pass later, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get ready in a bit. And then she's like, okay, well, don't forget to bring up your laundry. I'm like, you literally texted me. You told me already when I got up here, and now you're telling me again right before I'm about to do it. I got the message, Mom.
That's literally my mother, too. Like, they'll repeat the same thing, like, 6 times. I'm like, I heard you. And I'm going to do it. Just give me a moment, please.
What was the last thing your mom told you?
To sweep my room.
And did you sweep your room?
I did sweep my room.
Oh, there. See.
Yeah, because they got mad.
Oh, see. That's always the worst though. Like you have to get to the point to where they don't get mad. You have to go like right before.
Yeah, but then I just don't do it.
Well, that's why she gets mad. You're supposed to do it, babe.
God, you sound like my mom.
Oh my God, what?
Like you're supposed to do it. I know I'm supposed to do it.
You know what the craziest shit is when they hit you with the you're not paying rent, you could be somewhere else type shit.
They don't hit me with that. Not
Okay.
Not that, yeah, they don't
That's
hit me
fair.
with that, not yet. I don't think they would. If they do, I'm gonna be pretty upset. I'm gonna be like, I pay the power bill.
Damn.
Do you want electricity?
We could have the lights off all day.
We could. It's up to you. But yeah.
Yeah. But
it was a good movie though. I liked it. I really enjoyed it.
It was a good movie. The Santo Nino was I think that was like the funniest part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because like,
Santo
you know, in the previous podcast, we were talking about like things that you would find in a Mexican and Filipino household. But like, we completely forgot about the Santo Nino.
We did forget about it. You know, I think my grandma has like a little Jesus statue in her house. And I know exactly where it is. You walk in, you make a right, you go down the hallway. It's like in this little altar looking thing in the wall that it's like in there, and it's just right there. And I've always remember going to her room and like looking at it like Jesus is staring at me.
Yeah, like this Jesus kind of creepy, fam. Like, what we doing with this?
Like I remember when I was younger, like I would walk by it and I just keep on like churning back, like okay, it's still looking.
Yeah, you know, like when you see like a poster or like a painting on the wall and you just see the eyes just like following you. But like my whole thing is like, you know, I love you, God, I love you, Jesus, and all that. But like the doll just looks crazy. It looks so crazy.
It's because you probably know like you're being judged. It makes you feel like you're being judged.
It really does. Like I feel like the longer you stare at it, like it's one of those things that'll just speak at you.
Like you just start to like think about all the sins that you've done.
So when was the last time you went to confession?
I think the last time I went to confession was around the time of my quinceanera, so I was 15. So it's been like 8 years. 8 years, I think.
Yeah, that's a while. Yeah, I mean, it's probably been like a good 10 for me or something like that. No, actually,
8 or 9 years. I don't know.
You know what? The last time I could like truly recollect going to confession was in 8th grade, and that was maybe like 15 years ago.
You know what's like sucks though is that like I had to do it while the like father was looking at me.
Oh, you didn't have the screen?
No, I didn't have the screen.
You didn't have the Love is Blind screen?
Yeah, no, that was some BS. And they had like the confession rooms, and then they're all like, you guys are gonna go up, you're gonna sit on top of the altar and talk to the father.
No.
I was like, I thought I wasn't supposed to be judged. I thought I was like some secret type. Like, what if I wanted to say something, get something off my chest, and I feel like I'm gonna be judged right now? Like, granted, I was only 15, so I didn't do like a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would you say at 15 that you just sold? Like, what the hell? What did you do at 15?
Nothing.
Oh my God.
Maybe what if I wanted to confess something? Like, you know what I always think though? Like, what if someone like confesses to a priest that they like killed somebody?
Oh,
like,
I don't know.
Or are they accessory to murder now? Period.
Oh, okay. I don't think they'd.
These are questions that need to be asked.
That's a great question.
And I need an answer for it.
Yeah. So, like, if you confess that you killed someone, can the priest snitch? Because it is is it snitching?
Are we like, dividing church and state? What's going on here? I don't know. These are the questions. God?
And maybe we need a priest on the
Does God forgive? Do they just say, like, go say 5 Hail Marys?
Oh, hell no. Don't do that.
3 Our Fathers? And then you're forgiven? Like,
don't do that.
I just want to know. These are the questions
You're crazy.
Am I wrong, though?
You're not wrong. What do you think the priest is going to say? You say you admitted to murder. You think the priest is going to be like, yeah, say 10 Our Fathers. You good, bro. I ain't going to snitch.
Well,
I don't know.
Exactly.
I plead the 5th. What is crazy though? Something
I believe
that
Our Father.
Oh God. What is crazy though? I actually didn't know this about quinceañeras. You actually had an explanation with Esmeralda, Bootleg Kev's wife, yesterday. Can you explain? Because I didn't realize you needed to be Catholic to have a quinceañera.
Yeah, so you have to do certain requirements from the church in order to do your quinceañera. You have to be baptized, and you have to have done your first communion. I don't know about confirmation. I think you have to be in the process of doing your confirmation or have already done it. But I'm not confirmed, and I had my quinces, so I don't know what happened there. But I did go to classes for confirmation. I know for like getting married in the church, you have to do those sacraments too. So yeah, but yeah, you have to have certain sacraments done in order to have your quinceañera, which is literally the only reason I did my communion.
But then that's so strange to me. Like, so a quinceañera, 15, right? Yeah. So like, what if you just wanted to celebrate your birthday anyway without having like the grand party or anything? Like, because my point is you're gonna turn 15 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the grand party and have all that, but if you want to do it like, if you want it to be in like religious form, you would have, if you want to have the church ceremony, you would have to have your sacraments done.
Oh, so then the quinceañera, the church part, you would have to get, but not the party. The party you could do on your own.
Yeah, the party you can have on your own. But if you want to have the church, the church like segment of the quinceañera.
The church segment.
The church segment. I don't know. Church part. I don't know. But
like it's a 15-minute segment on the radio. Yeah, we're gonna do this.
45-minute segment. But, yeah, and then yeah, you would have to have your baptism, at least your communion, and I'm not sure if you have to have your confirmation done, but I was like a year into doing my confirmation, I think, and I had my quince anyway, so I don't know. But and they still let me do it at the church, so yeah, I guess. But maybe I am confirmed, and I don't even know.
I don't even know. But then, like, do you know if quinceañeras have a background with like church and Catholicism? Or anything like that? It's
more of like the background that I constantly see and like in church, like for quinceañeras, is you are becoming an adult. You are also opening up your, what's the word I'm looking for? You're also opening up your like religion to opening up, or you're opening yourself up to let God into your life. And with that comes responsibility of like, preaching Catholicism, practicing it too, So yeah, that's far as I understand. I mean, I could be like, I'm a Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic.
Well, let's see. This is according to Wikipedia, so please take this with a grain of salt. It says, contemporary festivities combine Spanish Catholic traditions with those of indigenous heritages and add in a few modern twists. For example, in ancient Mexico, the Aztecs and other indigenous peoples had many different ceremonies to mark the passage through the various stages of life. The quinceañera marked a young woman's transition to adulthood as she was presented as a virgin to the community for probable suitors. Wait. Now I have more questions.
Well, babe, what did you think adulthood meant when I said, like, you're coming into adulthood?
So you're telling me the original purpose for a quinceañera was to basically offer your daughter to somebody?
Not just to somebody.
That's what it said. That's what it said. That's what it said.
It's like
and this is back in the day too.
Yes, I get it, but it's like they're not immediately offering her to like one person. No, they're letting people know. Back then, this was back then. They're letting people know that like, hey, she's coming into adulthood, so if there's any suitors that would love to like have her, then there you go. But now it's more modernized. We don't,
There ain't somebody waiting outside like you about to marry him.
Yeah, no, there ain't nobody. There was nobody outside the church waiting for me. Like, I'm cool. I'm off that. But now it's more of like this. It's still the symbolic like it's still the symbolism of like going into adulthood without
the offering, here's my daughter, by the way,
here's
bro.
My daughter.
Like, take my daughter away, dog.
But I think more also too, like I said, in church, and like at least my church ceremony, my cousin's church ceremonies, I heard a lot of like, this is you opening up God into your life, and practicing Catholicism in this certain way, and learning about the church, learning about God, learning about this and that.
I get that, but like, can you imagine? I'm so hung up on this now. Like, can you imagine? Because this is still prominent in other countries where like there are arranged marriages.
Oh, super!
Like,
it's super,
so let's say you're like a king in like Mexico or something, right? Or like in the Aztecs, and like your goal is to combine families, and the only way to do that is like, hey, I have a son and you have a daughter, and this is what's about to happen. As soon as she turned 15, she's getting married to my son, and our families are gonna stick around and be the most powerful families in this thing.
I mean, that's how hierarchies worked.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
But what's
social statuses?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens now. Why do you think the rich marry the rich?
No, I totally get that. But my thing is like, that was the original essence of what is still being practice today. Like,
not practice.
No, not practice. But like, okay, what I'm saying is the original essence of a quinceanera. People still do it.
Do quinceaneras.
People still do quinceaneras, and it might not be for those same reasons.
Yeah,
but it's crazy that like that's what it was, and it's still. Quinceaneras itself is still a thing today.
If you probably look up what the debut meaning too, it's probably that too.
Hold on, let's look. I'm all about Google searching right now.
I mean, why do you think? What do they have? Is it Jewish people who have bar mitzvahs?
I'm sick. It literally says the tradition of the debut was derived from the Spanish celebration of the quinceañera.
What did I told you. I literally said, babe, I was like, if you look up debut, it's probably going to say the same exact thing. So he was hella gung-ho about like, oh my God, like, Mexican culture, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, God.
No, okay, I wasn't like that. I was just saying the fact.
When in reality, a debut is the same exact thing, babe.
Yo, that is so crazy.
I freaking told you. And why do you think, like I said, I think it's Jewish people who have bar mitzvahs. The man is going into like manhood at 13.
Jesus.
13.
The hell a 13-year-old know about manhood? Shit, I know about manhood.
Balls probably haven't even dropped.
That's what I'm saying. I know about manhood until I was 28.
28? Oh, excuse me.
I know about manhood until I was eating Hot Pockets every fucking day and hot ramen and fucking paying rent. The fuck you gonna do at 13 talking about manhood? That's the craziest shit.
I heard that like in bar mitzvahs, that like all the money they get, they have to like donate to like a charity. That's what I heard.
Okay, I'm not gonna knock a culture, but if you giving me money, I'm keeping the money.
I kept my money.
Yeah,
I kept my quinceañera money. I got like I think like maybe 1,600, 1,800, or maybe even like close to two, like for my quince.
$2,000?
Yeah, they like fucking.
Okay, so where's the $2,000 now?
I spent it all on my furniture for my room because I had like little kid furniture, and I was just like, I'm redecorating my room.
I'm hella.
I bought my mattress. I bought my
mattress discounters.
No, it was at IKEA.
Damn.
I got like all my like that. Remember like all my furniture in my old room, like all that was from my quince. So I had it for like about 8 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Period.
I like that. Well,
and then things I wanted to buy for myself. I was 15. Come on.
What would you buy?
Like makeup and stuff.
Oh God, that's really where all the $2,000 went.
No, you're just a hater.
I'm just playing. Well, guys, we are going to keep this as a short podcast because this is the first day Jackie and I have had like a whole day to each other. But, we wanted to make sure that we cranked out this content for y'all. Mm-hmm. Next time you guys hear from us, we will be back from
Seattle and Vancouver.
We'll be back from Seattle, Vancouver.
So we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah. And I think it might be a little late of an episode. We might have to record like the day after and post or something like that. Yeah. But it's all good, It's
okay.
We deserve a little bit of a vacation, you feel me? But we'll make sure each and every one of y'all are updated.
On that note, if you're any of our employers, don't bother us.
Yes. I'm on Do Not Disturb for an entire 5 days straight, my friends. But thank you so much, and make sure that you subscribe on YouTube because we're almost at 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers.
Subscribe.
Oh God.
Subscribe. And share the link, and then have your friends subscribe.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing this podcast with everybody. We really appreciate it, y'all, and thank you. My name is Nico Blitz.
I'm Jackie Ramirez.
And this is the Mexipino podcast. Adios, y'all.